What is going on, everyone, and welcome to the John Squared Gaming Show, episode 18, where if weeks were years, our gaming show could consent to sexual activity, baby.
Yeah. I think in foreign countries we could drink too. So,
Let's go. I'm John. That's John. I'll forever get it right now, the opposite way. John, how has your week been, brother?
not bad. I'm tired, but not bad. How about you?
Same.
Yeah.
Today was the first day of the week that I had to get up earlier for work. And it's not by much, by an hour, but it makes a world's difference. Um, yeah, I'm excited to get into some news, but man, I did not play a lot of video games this week. It's one of those rare weeks where I've decided to watch TV shows and stuff instead of game. I played a little bit, as a real gamer should, but yeah, it was really strange. Saturday. Have you watched the show You on Netflix?
No. No,
Uh
I have not.
s- so so I started watching that with my wife cuz she had watched the first two seasons. The third one came out recently and she had me rewatch it and it's fucking good, bro. It's good. I
I-
what?
When it comes to shows like that like blow up on a certain side of Twitter, I usually tend to avoid them
Hmm.
just
Yeah,
because I know that it's usually not my thing.
and that's so I'm pretty sure Lauren told me what happens because while we were sitting on the couch and I remember her going like and I was like what happened and she was like the show that I'm watching and I was like just tell me I'm never going to watch it, I'm not interested in it. So she told me what happens but I like mostly forgot. I had an idea, but it sucked me in, dude. And to the point
Yeah.
where on Saturday, we started watching it when I was during breakfast, and I was like, all right, one more episode, and then I'm playing Far Cry because I was playing a little bit the day before, so I was excited. Is that Zoe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was I I couldn't stop watching it. Is we're already on to the third season, the newest one. We watched through the first two seasons like nothing. It's really fucking good. After your mom in the chat, yes, she says it's good. It is. It is. I really liked it, and I was surprised because I was on your side of things where I was like, I'm not interested.
Well, what I've been doing is because I mean, fuck, I don't want to because this is like a pre-show during the show, but I'm trying to find a way to torrent Netflix because I don't want to make another email. I feel like that's too much trouble. But once I do that, I'm gonna probably. But don't laugh. I'm not paying for it. It's garbage. I'm probably gonna watch Midnight Mass. Um,
That's number one, honestly.
what's the other one?
Yes.
What's the other one with Raul? Didn't he have two shows on Netflix?
Haunting a Blind Manor.
That's it.
Same
I want to
same
watch that,
producer.
and I might check you out. I guess I don't know.
Um, Steve O Spaghettio in the chat said a finished Midnight Mass, probably the best one, or probably the best out of those three. Yeah, I 100% agree. It's probably my favorite show to come out in a long time.
Well,
Um,
my thing, I don't like scary shit. Like we've talked about that. I don't, I don't do scary stuff or thriller stuff, and I heard that that's kind of got those elements. You know?
Hill House is the most jump scary I but this it has elements to it, sure. Um, I think this is a show everyone needs to watch. Um, and the more I don't I listen to like video game podcasts and stuff here and there. But rarely do I ever go and seek out like TV show podcasts or movies or stuff like that. When I finished this, all I wanted was to have like in-depth conversations with people about it. So I basically would find any podcast that I could about this. and I would pretend like I was talking like that. The picture of like the kid eating his cereal, pretending to have a conversation with the three women. It was me. That's me in the car. Um, fuck, man, it's so good. I honestly, um, if you do end up watching it, it might we might want to do like a side conversation thing because I've got a lot to say about it. But yeah, Steven, I agree. It's my favorite out of those three, and probably my favorite show in a very very long time. Um, yeah, man. Oh,
That's it. The one podcast that really got me to be like, all right, I gotta check it out was the one with Raul. That's Idiots and Abroad. Like they talked
yeah,
about it,
yeah.
and I was like, fuck, like that. Just because I think he's the funniest human alive.
Um, and he's so like you wouldn't expect it, and he's so like subtle with it too. He just said
Yeah,
he doesn't like change his tone when he's telling a joke at all. You can't tell.
he's got that classic British sense of humor.
Yeah. Steven said the writing is so good. It is masterclass. But enough about TV shows and Netflix because we have tons and tons of news to get to. And we are going to start with John's favorite video game company. I was going to save this for last, just because I like to see you get worked up and like as we get closer, you know, I know how excited you're going to get. So we are
So
going
I'm
to go
putting my hair
back.
up. I'm ready to go.
uh,
Oh, okay, I get it. It wasn't a
uh,
sex joke. I'm not giving it head.
that's my mind, unfortunately. John, last week we got, I think the day after our show,
Of course.
typical, we got the news of Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack release date, and it's not great. So I'm pulling this from the Nintendo Life website. Um, they obviously just report on all Nintendo, but I will say they are very like. There's times where you can kind of sniff their biasness. Their Nintendo website, they're Nintendo fans, but they do like when they see bullshit, they'll call it out.
Good.
And so I'm there's two articles, but I'm gonna read this one and then I'm gonna show something from another article. It says during its Nintendo Direct in September, the Big N unveiled the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack, an optional I don't like that. An optional extra to the subscription service that adds Nintendo 64 and Sega Mega Drive Genesis games. A lot of our thoughts on its potential pricing revolved around the value of those added libraries. But today's Animal Crossing Direct confirmed that it will also include the Happy Home Paradise expansion for Animal Crossing. The prices were announced for 12 months for a single user, $50 a year. For a family of up to 8 users, $80 a year. I don't know for sure, um, but it doesn't seem like you can pay monthly. Like it seems like an upfront cost for the year. Um,
I thought I saw
now,
something that showed the monthly cost, but it's ridiculous.
yeah, um, like I said, I don't know for sure, but that's just what the pricing says here. Now they ran a poll on on the website for Nintendo fans. Uh, and it was, what do you think of the pricing? And this is what it was. For audio listeners, it says, what do you think of Nintendo Switch Online's expansion
Jeez.
pack pricing? 2% says it seems like a bargain to me. 10% says it's a reasonable price. 7% says I'm not sure yet. 37% say a little too high in my opinion, and 44% say an absolute ripoff
And that's out of 25,189 votes.
of Nintendo fans. So
Yep.
this isn't I mostly wanted to add this for as someone who is about to speak and we know his thoughts on Nintendo. I wanted to preface it by even Nintendo fans are not happy with this, but John, have the floor, brother.
I'm ecstatic about it, quite honestly. It vindicates everything I've been saying. They're a fucking shit company. You're gonna charge people that much to play games they can emulate for free. I mean, what? And the counter argument I saw to that was, "Oh, you're just going to steal games. That's awful for the industry." No, it's not. The games are 30 years old. It's not awful. I mean, what? It's so greedy of them. Just outright, like, just give us your money, like, and shut up. And you know they're not going to back down on it because they're fucking pieces of shit. This is everything I dislike about Nintendo in one thing.
Unfortunately, I think people are still going to pay for it. Even
Then they're
the
dumb. They're stupid fucking people.
people who voted it's like you're full of shit. Once that's available in 5 days, right? I think yeah, 5 or 6 days. Uh, and you have the option to play Ocarina of Time or Mario 64, which um I didn't add in here because we already have a lot to talk about, but they went and clarified and said that Mario 64 on the 3D All Stars collection is the definitive version, which is like it has the upscaling um and this is just emulation. Even though the 64 one is emulated with like upscaled HD textures and shit.
It looks like
Um
shit.
yeah,
The All Stars one looks like dog shit.
yeah. I can't believe that this is how much they are charging. Um I thought it would be 50 for a family and maybe like 35 for um a single user.
That's what would make sense.
It's crazy. So a general argument that I've seen being made by people defending this is that it costs less for a Starbucks order a month, um, or just it costs less than this $5 thing that you do regularly, but you don't own it. Like you still don't. And sure, like yeah, your Starbucks coffee, your $5 latte, you drink, and it's gone. Sure, but it's also I'm choosing that specific thing. Like it's not like Starbucks is saying like you need to pay $80 a month here to order anything, and if you do, it was coffee made in 1999. I just
But like,
don't like the argument at all.
that's a shitty argument. And if you want to make a shitty argument, the shitty argument back is that one gives you sustenance and one doesn't. One gives you fucking shitty nostalgia of bad games. I mean, what? That's so stupid.
Um, yeah. So the only thing that I really have left to say on this is, you can think that it's worth it to you without trying to justify this and saying it's bad business practice, it's bad for consumers, and I feel like that's not really debatable. I feel like it's you can say I love these games so much that it's worth it. I'll pay $100 a year, and that's fine. Like that, you can say this is this is worth it to me without saying this is a good deal. Um, which
So,
I know that's how opinions work and shit, but like I don't know. What were you gonna
no,
say?
there were a lot of fanboys saying like, you guys are complaining for the wrong reasons. Like, this is actually a really good deal. It's like it's not. But how many people can you get on a family plan? How many people is it? Like 8 consoles? You said.
8. Yeah. Yeah, 8 people. No, 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 no. I think it's 8 people on the Switch. I'm pretty sure. I'm not
Oh, you have
100%.
to use one console.
I
Okay.
think so, yeah.
So I was gonna say my thing is like you could get 8 friends and pay $10 a year, and like you all get it. But if it's
Right.
only one Switch, then that's also bad business.
Yeah, like if you gave us like all of your back catalog, like GameCube and I understand how we could kind of not work. You give us like that much and give us like your whole history, but it's like you're choosing what like I don't know. I just I think
If
it's
if they gave GameCube and like some Game Boy games or something, that to me would be more justifiable because they're more recent than
Yeah.
N64 and Sega Genesis, which were literally in the 90s. We
Yeah.
are 30 years past that. You're gonna charge someone $50 for a year or $80 for a year just to play them again. I mean,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous.
These games on the Wii U, you could buy separately and they were $10. And that was another argument. They're like, someone on Twitter said that, well, you get all these games for way less. It would cost you so much more. It's like, but I'm not playing all of these games. I'm only gonna play a select few, and I own them. I can play them forever. This is like I
Yeah.
pay this up front, and then if I don't pay for this next year, it's gone. I don't have it anymore. So I don't think it's bad. I don't like it. And like I said, I just don't. I think most people would say it's a shitty business practice. So yeah, not a fan.
Nintendo stinks, dude. They're just a bad company.
A lot of companies are bad. Um,
Oh yeah.
um. So next up, we got the PS5 Faceplate Design. Um, So I don't know if we talked about this when our show first started, where the Sony sued, or PlayStation sued us. It's a company called Dark Plates, and they made their own plates for the PS5, and they were basically the same design, but they were like black or like red, or they changed it, and so they called Sony out and said, "Go ahead and sue us. Go ahead, do it." And they did. They threatened to
Yeah.
do it, and so they changed up their design, and now they're a little more confident. And now I'm going to show a picture of what the new ones look like. Um, I don't really like the vibe of this company. So they had a
They
whole subreddit talking about like, oh, like this is gonna make your PS5 actually look good. Like that your PS5 is ugly the way it is. Fuck Sony. I just don't know if that's the right approach.
even
Like,
well, like you ripped off their design to try to profit off of it without their permission and got upset because they said, "No, no, no, stop doing that." They didn't sue them. They ordered a cease and desist.
yeah,
They just said, "Stop making them because you're profiting off of our design." Uh, which is fair. Like they're not in the wrong for that.
I just don't think it looks nice. The new one I don't think looks nice at all.
And that they were promoting it and saying like, "Oh, it helps cool off your PlayStation and blah blah blah." And it's like maybe because of the like ventilation hole they have,
It does.
but
They
like
they did they did run tests. They had external people run tests, and it cools it off by about 5 degrees, which actually is decent. Like if you were like looking at options and stuff, like having that is actually really nice. Um, I don't know why. I don't like it, and Steve O Spaghetti on the chat agrees with me and says, "Ew, I hate it." I don't think it looks nice.
no. And like maybe it's just because it's on the disc version, so it has that weird like kind of like a
Yeah.
stick. But like
No, for me
I don't
it's
know.
the how close the rounded edges are to like when you take
Yeah.
the plates off of your PS5, that shit is ugly. It's like
Yeah.
the weird like fins that kind of make it. And I still don't know if I have a definitive stance on if I love or hate the PS5 look. I think I like it, but I
Dude,
feel
I
like I could
stopped
wake up.
caring.
Yeah, that's the thing. I really don't care. I think it looks kind of strange in our. So my wife, um, is into that, like every other suburban housewife. Um, loves that farm look. So everything's like rustic, and then you just have this fucking alien, like weird spaceship looking thing in the middle of our TV stand with sliding barn doors. So I think it looks a little goofy there, but I just don't care. As long as it performs, um, I'm cool.
Yeah. I mean that mine Mine fits in, but only because like it blends. It blends in with like the wall, you know? Like it doesn't
Yeah.
really stand out yet. When I paint that room too, then, you know, we might have some issues. Might have to hide it.
We got a little Sony streak here. So next up, we I forgot to mention where I'm pulling the articles from. They'll be linked into the YouTube description. Um, but this one's from Ollie Jones at Games Radar. It says PS5 ends Nintendo Switch best-selling streak after almost 3 years. Says the PS5 has ended the Nintendo Switch nearly 3-year best-selling streak in the United States. According to NPD analyst Matt Piscatella, the PS5 was the best-selling hardware platform in September 2021 in both unit and dollar sales. That means that last month saw the PS5 snap a remarkable 33 consecutive month streak that Nintendo Switch was the market-leading platform for in unit sales. That's kind of fucking huge.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't know if
Eh,
anything could stop the Switch, um,
Do you
especially with the constraints that we've had on and the limitations of the next gen consoles. But yeah, go ahead.
and that's what I was gonna say. Do you think these are scalpers or actual buyers?
It's just sales, so scalpers count. It's whoever. It's just the purchases. They only track like the purchases. So
I don't like that.
but I mean, still, it's not. I mean, Switch consoles were scalped too. Like when the Animal Crossing Switch
Yeah.
came out last year, scalping's happening to everything, absolutely everything. Like the Metroid Dread has a collector's edition, and at the second it's posted, it's literally like a next gen console. It's sold out immediately, and then you'll see it on eBay for $150.
I saw a graphics card, a 3090. It was on sale for $1,200.
Wait,
That
no,
seems
that's a good price.
no, I don't like that.
That was probably a scam. If I'm being honest, that's too good of a price.
That seems way too high for me.
Um, it is for a 3090 is like the literal best graphics card you can get. It's the retail price is $1,500. Um, yeah, that was a scam.
Yeah, I don't
um,
like that.
but yeah, so I I think the Switch is probably going to end up being the best selling console of all time. Um, it's still got a long ways to go to overtake PS2, but it just had so much momentum, and it took it. I get that we had constraints and whatnot with supply, but it took this long for a next gen console to actually beat it. So, um,
I think with as little as Switch is doing to like the OLED's the first new thing they've done, and on top of that, like it's not a new gen console. It's just a better screen. And like what I don't maybe I'm just missing it, but like doesn't seem like they've had many huge releases. Like new releases. You know what I mean?
well, I'm telling you, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe still is a top seller every single month. It sells still to this day. It's the reason we do not have a Mario Kart 9 because people
Who the fuck is still
still
buying it?
anytime someone buys a new Switch, hold on, I'm gonna look up uh the the attach rate because it I think it's like insane. It's yeah, that's the thing with Nintendo is their consoles do have these like crazy attach rates. So I
Drives
don't
me
know how
nuts.
this was in 2020 and it was a 50% attach rate, which is crazy. So half the people who bought a Nintendo Switch
About
are
Mario
also
Kart.
buying Mario Kart. That's fucking crazy. Um, it's I just yeah, PS5 beat it this month, but it's still there. And then whenever they have a revision potentially next year, it's only gonna get they're only going to sell more and more.
Dude, I fucking hate them. I hate them so much. And like, it's because they won't change their practices until they start losing money, and they just won't lose money.
Yeah, they won't. Unless they have a Wii U situation again. I don't think they'll ever go away from the Switch, but that's another conversation for another show. Next, you got Phil Spencer is said that Xbox is definitely not done buying game studios. Says, and this is from Chris Scullion at VGC. Says Xbox boss says there's no quota on the number of teams it wants to acquire. Xbox boss Phil Spencer has reiterated that the company has not finished acquiring development studios and will continue to expand Xbox Game Studio family. In a discussion as a part of Wall Street Journal's WSJ, that's my mind wanted to say SJW, is the SJW Tech Live event, paywalled and transcribed by VGC. Spencer was asked if Xbox Game Studios, which currently consists of 23 different development studios, was finally complete or if it would grow even bigger. Phil Spencer said, I'm really proud of some of the creators that we have chosen to become a part of Xbox. So many of these creators, they have choice. Some of them don't. Says we offer some financial stability for them. It's not about only the success of their next game. I want to give them some more creative capability, longer timelines when required to do their best work. And that's my goal. We're big believers in the power of content. You've heard Satya Nadella talk about it and Amy Hood talk about it. So yeah, looks like they're not going down. They're not slowing down anytime soon. Which is, I mean, we've talked about it a couple times now. Stinks.
I think when I sent the article, I linked in the Google Docs thing. I said Phil Spencer's annoying because this is like we've said numerous times. He keeps saying he wants, games to be accessible, and then he wants to keep buying studios, making it the complete opposite of accessible.
Yeah, I mean, obviously his job is to be dedicated to the Xbox platform, but I don't know if it's just the way that it was like said but he's like, I don't know, like there's
He's
no quota.
becoming like the Elon Musk of video games, you know? Where like people liked him too much, and now he thinks he's one of the guys.
I like him. I do. I think he actually is a gamer. He actually does care about the games that they make. It's like it feels like Xbox has emotion now, whereas even like Sony and Nintendo don't have that person to. Herman Holst is slowly trying to get there, I think, for PlayStation, kind of being that like personality. But what do you have to say?
Good.
What's
Corporations
good?
shouldn't have a fucking a PR guy running the forefront.
I don't know if that's what it is. I think it's just having someone to communicate with the people that you're selling games to.
Yeah, make a press release. Don't have some douchebag up there fucking. There's no quota to how many game studios we will buy. Fuck off.
I don't agree. I really like him. I like having people personalities and stuff. I think it's good for their brand. I think it's good for creating an environment and a community that, you know, of passionate fans. So I like it. I do understand what you're saying about like corporations having the relatable, like, hey, I'm
I'm a
just a
gamer
poor,
too.
yeah, right.
I'm one of you guys. Please give me another $1 billion bonus. I mean, what? Fuck off.
And
Fucking
he is
hate
a
that
gamer.
shit.
He is.
With him, I don't fucking care. So are incels. Doesn't mean I like them.
All right. Well, and now it just sounds like we're about to keep shitting on Xbox because the next story is by Matt Kim at IGN. It says Xbox Game Pass subscriber growth slowed down this year. So it says Xbox Game Pass. Why am I having a hard time saying that? Xbox Game Pass subscriptions have slowed in the fiscal year 2021, according to new documents released by Microsoft. In a new financial statement, Microsoft revealed that Xbox Game Pass subscriptions rose uh, by 37.5%, falling short of its internal target of 47.8%. In contrast, last year, Microsoft overperformed on its targets to grow Xbox Game Pass, increasing subscriptions by nearly 86% over the goal of 71%. What this means is that Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass subscriptions have slowed this past year, and it's likely a combination of factors. One of the key promises of Xbox Game Pass is that the first party titles will be available at service day and date. So yeah, they just go on to say they haven't had a lot of first party games, so people maybe aren't feeling as compelled to subscribe. Um, the only new titles uh, they've had, first party titles, are Microsoft Flight Simulator and Psychonauts 2, which I don't think are Game Pass movers, in my opinion. But yeah, do you have any other ideas on why that could be?
They just haven't it. Man, it seems like they have a definitely a flashier front, and they've put out better games. I think because there were new games included in that, like Flight Simulator and Psychonauts 2. But they're doing the same thing PlayStation is, where they're just kind of biding their time until their big release comes, which is Halo. And at that point, you're going to see a huge increase. But for the past couple months, there really hasn't been anything good added to Game Pass,
Yeah.
like anything worth the subscription.
Well, obviously, other than what we Psychonauts, um,
Yeah.
Back for
Excluding that
Blood, yeah, but
and that.
that's where they have done a really good job, in my opinion, is starting to put third party get making deals with third party studios like Outriders back in the spring, and like um Back for Blood, which is really good for people who are waiting for the AAA titles.
Yeah.
It
And it's
it
also like, I guess,
is.
as what
Go
are you
ahead.
saying?
No, go ahead.
As consoles become like more available, if someone chooses like a PlayStation, they can still play those games. Which I guess is the only other thing I can think of.
Right. I also um I don't know this for I this is just something that maybe an idea, a possibility, because I didn't do any research on this. It just kind of came into my head now. It seemed like a year ago Game Pass was like smacking you in the face everywhere you went. You could get a free month of Game Pass when you bought Pop Tarts. They had a code on it. It was everywhere. And I don't know if this includes um the like trials and stuff like that, because that could be another thing, is like people doing trials and then running out and they're like, I wasn't interested in anything. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see when we get Halo and we get some more of these Bethesda games and stuff, how that looks, because like it really, even the last year, I feel like I've gotten my money's worth every month by having that library of games to go back on things that I haven't played before and try out. Um, and it's been good for our book club, which we haven't had because there's way too many fucking games that have been coming out, so we've been playing those. But probably will be doing starting that back up soon. But yeah, I just thought it was at least interesting, and it was news worthy enough sharing. Um, Next up, John, did you play any of the Splinter Cell games?
I played like one on PS1, but I didn't ever finish it.
Was there a
It
Splinter Cell
was either
game on
PS1
PS1?
or PS2. It was PS1 or PS2. One of the
I
early PlayStation.
remember because I remember it was an original Xbox game, and I tried it, and it was I was maybe 7 years old, too hard. Um,
I want to see if I am making stuff up in my head or not. I I've
because it
said
could
this
have
to
been it
you.
could have been Ghost Recon that you're thinking about.
I've said this to you like off camera. Listening to this stupid fucking keyboard drives me nuts. 'Cause I don't think you can hear it.
I can't.
Uh,
No.
yeah. So PlayStation 2.
Okay.
Um, yeah, the microphone mutes it out, but I can hear it through my headphones. It's so fucking loud.
This is from Tom Henderson at BGC. It says a decade later, Ubisoft has finally greenlit a new Splinter Cell sources claim. Says a new mainline entry has entered production. It says Ubisoft has greenlit what will be the first mainline Splinter Cell game in a decade. That's according to development sources who told us that the title has been put into production as a means of winning back fans' trust, or winning back fans frustrated by recent efforts to revive the franchise in mobile and VR spaces. Are you interested in a new Splinter Cell game?
No, I mean, especially not what Ubisoft's going to do with it, because you know it's going to be a service game.
That's the question: is do we trust Ubisoft to
No,
make something worthy of a game hasn't been made in 10 years, like
even that,
and go ahead.
I don't trust Ubisoft to make anything at this point.
That's
Like Far
fair.
Cry's been pretty good, but I mean, it's kind of mindless.
Right.
Like, and Assassin's Creed, I mean, it's been good for what it is, but it hasn't been like Assassin's Creed has always been. Like I don't trust them to make any games anymore,
Yeah.
which is a shame.
It is interesting to because I I feel like there hasn't been a lot of like AAA stealth games. I know we had Hitman 3 earlier this year. Um But other than that, I don't think I think there's a void, and there's room for these kind of games because we don't have like Metal Gear Solid anymore, and we don't have Splinter Cell anymore. So I feel like there's room for this. I'd be interested to see, but I am not even close to being optimistic
Yeah,
for it. Um,
and even that, I don't play stealth games. It's not my thing.
but for Splinter Cell fans, congratulations. Hopefully it's
Yeah, go
good.
for you. In
uh,
5 years, when you get your games of service, Splinter Cell, you'll see why they shouldn't have
Uh,
made it.
for PC fans, also congratulations. I have great news for you. Fantastic news for you. You're getting one of the best games ever made ported finally to PC, and that is God of War.
Simulator.
Have a good night, guys. God of War 2018 is finally coming to PC. This is from the PlayStation blog. This is God of War 2018 is coming to PC January 14th, 2022. We're thrilled to announce that God of War 2018 will be coming to PC January 14th, 2022. All of us at Santa Monica Studios have been humbled by the immense amount of support and passion. That's a typo for sure. I think they meant to say passionate fans of the God of War series. Uh, as of August 2021, 19.5 million copies of God of War were sold on PlayStation 4 and have been sold through, and we cannot wait to share that experience with a whole group of players on PC. So the only other interesting thing that I saw from this is we're also happy to announce this is down in the article further down. We are also happy to announce that we will have full integration with NVIDIA Deep Learning Super Sampling, DLSS, which is fucking magical, available on RTX cards. You won't have to sacrifice high graphical settings and output resolutions for high performance in God of War. Um, DLSS has been so I just have a laptop with a RTX 3060 in it, and the performance I don't understand how it works as well as it does. It takes your game, your output, and shrinks the resolution to, if you're doing 1440p, it shrinks it to 720. And then it uses AI to upscale that up to a 1440p image, and it looks like identical to a 1440p native 1440p image. But since it's running natively at 720, your frame rate goes way up, your performance goes way up, your GPU has less um like usage. It's fucking crazy, man. It's so sick. Um, I spent like 2 hours the other day just messing around with settings just to see what it was capable of. Um, it honestly might be like obviously playing this game at like a higher frame rate and stuff like that. Um, yes, John.
You gotta explain that again. You gotta do it
You can watch back.
like I'm a first grader.
You can go ahead and watch back. Um, it's so exciting. I cannot wait to see what games come to PlayStation or come to PC from PlayStation. Um, this is just really good for gamers all over the world. That's a dub for all of us. Um, I kind of just want to rebuy it to experience it. You know.
I thought
Uh,
about it when I saw it announced. I thought about buying it again, buying it for the first time technically, but yeah,
oh yeah, because you got it with your PS5 the collection. Yeah, really
yeah.
cool. Again, that comes out on January 14th, 2022. It is available for pre-order on Steam right now. Um, another
Which
thing
I
that's
also
kind of go ahead.
I think we're gonna say the same thing about Steam Deck, right?
No.
No. Oh, well, on Steam Deck you can play it, so you can play it mobile, which is sick. I think that's even more reason to buy it. And
What I was
plus,
gonna
it's one of the
say is
best games.
PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X for that matter use AMD architecture in their consoles. Um, So it's interesting to see them like kind of team up with Nvidia's graphics cards are just better. The drivers that they have, the features that they have, they're just better. And AMD has their own version of Nvidia things, but they're in my opinion, at least right now, and AMD is still relatively new compared to Nvidia. I just don't think that they really compare in it. But it is weird to see them team up with Nvidia. You would think that they would maybe roll with AMD, but I'm happy they didn't. I'm happy that we're getting this. Super stoked. John,
Yeah.
we said in the pre show we haven't played
Yeah.
much games. Have you
Yes.
played any this week?
Just a little bit of Far Cry. Yeah. A little bit more.
Um,
Dude, I'm still, I don't know how deep you want to get into it, but man, I don't know if I'm sold yet. And I have a good like 10 hours in. I don't know if the story is like really, really keeping me in.
the story is not. I don't. I hardly know what the fuck's going on in the story, honestly. Um, for me, it's just been I have something to occupy my mind for a little bit.
Yeah.
I love the gameplay. It's the best Far Cry
Wh-
has ever felt to me.
When I hit the secret ending like 2 or 3 hours in, if that was the end of the game, I'd be like, all right, that makes sense.
Um, yeah, we I mean we kind of gave our impressions last week.
Yeah.
But also Back for Blood we've played more of.
Yeah.
Uh, game is so
Still
sick,
good.
dude. So
Still
sick.
fun.
Uh, we had a for the final maybe 45 minutes to an hour. Um, John, my brother-in-law Steven, Steve Spaghetti in the chat, and my brother Zach and I were all in the shooting range, and you do have the ability to shoot and harm your teammates. And we spent honestly it was probably over an hour in that shooting range shooting at each other, and we would all so what we would do is we made our own game out of it. We would spread out in the yard and we would hide behind a car or a barrel, or John would go in the fucking swamp like he's Shrek. And
Amen.
we would count down 3, 2, 1, and then we would go and last one standing wins. We would do like shotguns only, snipers only, shit like that, and that was some of the most fun in video games that I've had all year. It was
That's what I
so
was gonna say.
stupid.
Dude, it was the funniest thing I think we've had, like the most fun we've had on a Friday night in so long.
Yes,
Other than when me and
I
Zach were playing Dungeons and Dragons, that was also up there. But all right, fuck you, you didn't get to play. So how about that? Uh,
Oh
but that
man.
that was so fun.
Yeah, dude. And there's so much more in the story. Feel like we're only like 10% through the story.
I don't not
But
even. I don't think
yeah,
we're
dude,
so far. We're so early in it.
it's so good. I love it. I'm so excited to keep playing it. Other than that, I did finish Kana, Bridge of Spirits. Um I don't know if I finished it last week. Time is I have no concept of
It's
it
not real.
anymore. I did finish that. I think it was Thursday that I finished it. Dude, it's a must play for anybody who loves like action adventure games. Um it's not quite Zelda. I know you've probably, if you heard about this game, you've probably heard people draw the comparisons. It's not it has some elements from Zelda, but it's its own thing. Um there were some puzzles in there that um when I got it, I was like, there's no way anybody else figured this out. And if they did, they didn't figure it out as soon as I did. It was they and then also there's like puzzles where you're like, how the fuck? And I'm like, and then when you finally figure it out, you're like, everyone else had to look up a guide on how to do this. Like, there's no way. Even the guy who made the guide probably found a guide somewhere on how to do it. But it was just so fun, and I actually I've been saying this a little bit more recently, and maybe it's becoming a habit. But right after I finished it, the final boss, by the way, fuck you, Ember Lab, for making it that hard. But um, I finished it, and then I turned it on master mode, and I instantly restarted it. Mistake. I got fucking
Yeah,
shredded by the first boss, but I love this game. It's definitely a game I'm gonna keep coming back to. It's challenging. It's creative. And yeah, I think the story, it's not this deep um like super complex story, but it's good enough to it's like a very like heartwarming kind of story, but it's actually kind of dark, and it's, you don't expect that coming from this game that's so vibrant and stuff. So yeah, I can't recommend it enough. um and if you do pick it up, let me know on Twitter, and or in the YouTube comments. Let me know if you played it, because I want to talk to people about it because I fucking loved it.
that's
Um,
how I felt about like Ori. Like I didn't finish Ori. I got to the last boss and said I'm fucking done. And Ori 2 because I tried
yeah,
like 15 times and the difficulty jump was so high that I was like, this isn't fun for me anymore. I'm just frustrated. So I didn't finish it. But
it
like it was the
is.
same sort of thing where like that's an incredible game up to that point.
This feels like very similar to Ori. It's like a 3D Ori game. It's not, the gameplay isn't as tight, I think. I think Ori is still a better game, but this game is still phenomenal, absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Any other games you played?
Um no, you know what I haven't touched in a while that I still haven't finished is Deathloop.
Deathloop, you son of a bitch. I
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been waiting to fucking have that spoiler cast.
Yeah, I haven't even given it thought, which is unfortunate because like I still think it's incredible. I just there's so many puzzles and I haven't had the mental energy. I have the
Makes me
mental
sick.
energy for like Far Cry where I just get to blow shit up, you know? There's no thought.
Yeah, it hurts. Because I still
I'll
think it's my
finish
game
it
of
at
the year.
some point. I mean,
Yeah,
I'll probably
it's good.
finish it like I don't think I can do it in a weekend, but like by the end of the month, you know?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. But yeah, that's it for the games we've been playing. We're gonna jump into our topic of the show. You ready for it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right, let's get into it. So I proposed this question to you earlier today. It's been something I actually been thinking about um, for the last couple months, and I don't know why we haven't talked about it sooner. But um, I asked you, do you think we are ever going to see another major competitor to the big three? And what I mean by that, obviously, is PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. I'm not counting PC. Um, do you think another company is going to make a mainstream AAA gaming console that actually competes with the big three? And I will let you go first.
I mean, maybe Soja Boy. Okay, I've been sitting on that joke since 7 a.m., but that's fine.
I see those spaghettios at KFC.
um,
I hate you both.
I think maybe if Xbox keeps threatening like LG and stuff and Whirlpool with the Xbox mini fridge, they might come out of the woodwork and say, "Hey, fuck you. We'll make game consoles better."
We're entering your space now, buddy.
Yeah, that'd be nice. But I don't know, man. Maybe Stadia? Wasn't Amazon working on one too? I think maybe if they actually put like actual resources and shit behind it and not just like, hey, here's a quick cash grab, maybe they could do it.
Yeah, I mean those are it still qualifies, but those are cloud-based only.
Right. I mean, like, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they actually put the time and effort into like, we're gonna make an actual console, then maybe.
Hmm.
But it's like I feel like in the current landscape, it's very hard to break in. And I could see someone like Steam, if their Steam Deck is received very well, saying like, "Hey, we're gonna make a home based console, and maybe it's not as strong as like Series X or PS5, but like strong enough to run the games well, you know." And maybe that comes to like replace PC, or at least like you can get that instead of a PC, you know?
I think Steam they tried a console and it didn't work.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
different time though.
yeah. So I this is gonna sound like I have a fucking paragraph written about it because it's something that I really have thought about a lot. Especially since there's a lot of conversations last year before the next gen consoles launched about is this the last time we're ever going to have a console, or are we moving to cloud only next generation? And
Oh,
I think that's still a little too soon. But I think to answer this question, you need to talk about like where we see video games in the next 10 or 15 years. Um, and like Stadia has become a meme at this point. But I really think that they were almost like the sacrificial lamb to like they died, so now Xbox and everyone else kind of gets to live because they were right. I We are headed there. That I do
but like
believe. Go ahead.
even with that, I mean, they kind of got the last laugh when Cyberpunk came out because their console ran Cyberpunk
That's
better than anyone else's.
that's one W. That's it.
Hey, take what you can get, brother.
Um, but yeah, I mean I think Stadia struggled because they didn't have creative ideas and stuff like that. They just had Google money.
Yeah, plus the marketing fucking sucked.
I mean they tried. They had billboards everywhere for it. But it's no one's gonna pay. I guess I'm not gonna say no one because people have done it, but the general audience isn't ready to pay for something that is not like at least on natively on your console
Yeah.
or like in your you can actually hold the disc in your hand. Um, I don't know. I like I said, I do believe that we are headed towards a world where gaming is going to be the main way to play AAA video games, and the main way the general gaming audience plays video games is going to be streaming it on some kind of device. And
Yeah.
it just feels like there's some kind of like media Thanos, and he took music that's all streaming service, TV shows. We have like Netflix, movies, like sure like Netflix and stuff. How often do you actually see people like buying Blu-ray discs? Like you go, one of my guys at work, he's obsessed with CDs, but yeah, it's not common. It's not. You go to Best Buy, and he loves CDs, and one of my other guys loves DVDs, and so what they're so used to is going to Best Buy. You go to Best Buy, the CD rack is like one like row, and it's like greatest hits or popular thing, and like that's it. They don't have anything else. It's physical media is dying, and it's
I
just
so
the way it is.
that's been an argument for probably since the year 2000, right? But I want you to look behind yourself right now and what's all over the wall.
That's not the dominant.
But it sells enough to keep producing it, does it not? There's always going to be a market for it. And I think as time goes on, there will be almost a renaissance where people want physical copies again, sort of like vinyl. Maybe not CDs, maybe not like cassettes are coming back, which is weird. But like maybe not like maybe not Blu-rays or DVDs, maybe not CDs, but there is going to be a market for people to buy physical games. Whether that's a
Yeah,
strong market or not, it'll always exist. And as long as it's somewhat profitable, as long as they're not blowing money on it, then I think they're
I
going to keep going.
I don't think you're gonna get. I think at some point home consoles are going to be so rare. Like probably not going to make very many. I think we're going to get to a point where most gamers are playing things, and the thing is, it's the internet where it is now. Generally, like right for in my home, I obviously have a gig up, a gig down. I have the means to stream a game if I want to. I still choose to play natively because that's what I prefer. And even when we get to that future, as long as it's financially an option, like I still will do that because that's what I am a like hardcore gamer. I was trying to I
I
was
was hoping you weren't going to say that.
I was trying not to, but I really in the same sense, like I love music. I'm passionate about music, and that's the only reason why I purchase vinyl records. And that's just that's because I'm so passionate and so invested into this into it. So, but I think what it's going to be is probably streaming for the most part once internet capabilities are generally across the board really good, and then the hardcore audience is going to be left with like PC gaming, where that's the only and competitive gaming, because streaming is never a good idea for competitive gaming. I think it's gonna end up being PC left. Um, and I
So
don't.
I have a boomer thought about it. And that's that the internet's only been around for like what 20, 25 years. Maybe like 26, 27 now. I think 95 was around the time it really popped off. Uh this shit could fail at any moment. Like something could go wrong and
1983.
really I was a little off. So yeah, so what, 36 years? Is that right?
Sure, you're better at math than I am.
Yeah, but my brain is rotted out. Uh Either way. So no, it's 46. I was off. It's 10 years. Anyways, uh it could fail. I don't think it will, but it could. And if that happens, then the whole idea of like only streaming games, it's just not going to work. Even so, I think that in the same way you're saying you're passionate about music. So you want things native, like you're passionate about games, so you want stuff native to consoles in the same way you're passionate about music, so you want the physical copies. There's a lot of people in the industry that are like that. There are a lot of gamers who feel the same way and they want it natively on their console.
The amount of people already buying digital versions of games is skyrocketing. And once they stop giving people like the internet failing is like at that point we got a lot more to worry about than video games. If the
Oh,
internet
I
just
know.
stopped.
That's why I said it's like a boomer take. I don't. It's not something I actually like fully believe
And
in. It's just an idea.
yeah, and like video game consoles are really new too. And it's just so like we're seeing all this other media where it to watch a TV show, the like general mainstream way to watch that is streaming it on Netflix. I'm not saying right now it's like there are people in my family alone, the boomers, if you will, who never they 5 years ago didn't know what the fuck Netflix was. They thought it was the actual rental, the disc rental, and they were like, "Oh, I'm not doing that." It's taking people a while to adjust to it, but I'm talking and I'm talking like 15 years from now. I think we're still gonna get a home console, PlayStation 6, um, maybe one after that, but I don't. I think within 15 years, when like internet infrastructure is so much better than it is, I really I think that's where we're headed. And I think when you look at all other media, when that's where it ended up, I think books and video games are the only things left that are more like dominantly consumed physically than like streaming it over a cloud and stuff.
I guess. I mean, the planet's going to explode in like 20 years. So if it happens in 15, it doesn't really matter now, does it?
Sure.
I mean, we'll be dead
Uh
in 10. So, like, we're not going to live to
but
see it.
I got long-winded there, obviously. Like I said, I've been thinking about this for a while. So the answer to the question that I proposed is, if we get to a point where we're streaming games, 100% yes. There's going to be more than one competitor.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be Apple. There's going to be Netflix. There's going to be Google. Stadia could probably maybe if they
Thrive,
rebranded
dude.
Google. I I think Google has it right. I think they understand the market right now. I think they do have it right, and I think that they're probably gonna have to call it something else. They're probably gonna have to rebrand, but it is gonna be like, I fucking told you so. But yeah, I definitely think that is where we are headed as a gaming society.
I I feel like we're far off from it though, you know? Like I still feel like we got miles to go before we get there.
Yeah,
That's why it's weird. It's
I hope
weird. Like
so.
I clearly haven't put as much thought into it as you. As with most things, I don't think it's just like the monkey with the symbols up here, you know?
Sure.
There's not much going on. But like I just can't see in 15 years everyone just deciding, okay, no, we're just gonna stream everything now. I feel like that works with a medium like TV shows. Um I I don't know. I just don't I feel like it doesn't work for video games currently. Which is why I don't necessarily like doing it.
It does work for people who have good internet
Well, that's the
consistently.
thing is
Then that's what I'm saying. It's like when that it's going to rely on the internet infrastructure. The technology is there, and it's only going to get better. And it like I have streamed a game. I streamed a game on Stadia just to try it out, and I was blown away. You, as someone who plays so many video games natively, I can tell the like slightest bit of input lag. But the fact, when you think about it, the device that you're holding in your hand, how streaming actually works, where it's that device, you push a button and that sends it over the cloud to whatever cloud thing you're playing on, then sends it back to your screen, and it's able to do that like that. It is only going to get better. So
yeah, I mean, but that's also that's my head also automatically goes to the politics side of internet and like what that's going to look like in 10, 15 years.
better.
Uh there could be more restrictions set and whatnot depending on usage, seeing how the government could profit off it, shit like that.
Yeah. But yeah, so
But that's also, I'm a crazy person. So you have the more logical thought process on it.
like I said, I've been thinking I almost for a year, honestly, just because when we were having this, I was involved in conversations about this potentially being I the last console generation, and I think that is a little premature. But I think a lot more people in the business like are kind of like they're kind of seeing the writing on the wall. I remember the first time Spotify was a thing, and I was like, wait, I pay $10 a month and I get all of this. that seems so fucking foreign to me too, as someone who grew up like up collecting CDs like it was my life's goal. Like
Yeah.
uh, it's and I so I get what you're saying where you're like I can't imagine it, and every time I can't imagine I couldn't imagine Game Pass being a thing. So but like I said, to answer my own question, because we kind of got a little bit off, but it obviously does play into the discussion and that we're having. Um, I could see it being a Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus. I could see it being PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. Like I said, Netflix, Apple, Google. That invites more like it invites people to try it out a little bit. Like they it gives people the means to actually start a company and give it a go because the console space is just so impossible to get into right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. In that idea, yeah. My head keeps going back to PS Now and how shitty that does. Just because people don't trust it, and because it, I think it's just because people don't trust it. Because I mean,
Um,
that has a lot of good games on it.
I'm just looking at the sub numbers for it. 3.2 million, which isn't
It's not bad.
it's not Game Pass, but I mean Game Pass is
No.
like around 18 consistently, I think.
Could you
Um,
compare that to PS Plus though, which I would assume does better
I
numbers?
I could only compare PS Plus to Xbox Live Gold, because that's the
Oh, I
similar
guess.
service.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean either way, there's other problems with PlayStation Now, I think, than just like I don't think people trust it. I also don't think people know what the fuck it is. So I think that
Well,
plays a part in it as well.
I think it in the day and age where everything is streamed, if it is, and everything looks like the Jetsons, then maybe maybe that'll take off. Um, and you could have like it's going to be Google or Amazon, probably Google first, that really like puts themselves on the map as like we're in the games industry now and we're fucking killing it.
Well, Amazon is like
They're already there.
set.
They have
They're
Amazon Games, Amazon
they're
Gaming.
they're laying the groundwork right now. They have
We are
Luna,
we're
which
currently on
is
an Amazon owned gaming
right.
thing.
Um, but they have Luna, which is basically their own Google Stadia. Um, and their service has been. I've tried all these out just because I'm so like fascinated by the technology and stuff and seeing how like it works compared to Stadia, compared to Xbox Cloud streaming and stuff like that. And basically with Luna, you like they the thing that they do better than Google is they have channels um where they are so you subscribe to the Ubisoft channel and then you get all the Ubisoft games. Then
Uh,
you have an action adventure channel that you pay $5 for, and they add new action adventure games to that, um, which to me is such a better idea than buy a game full price. You only get it on the cloud. We could take it away from you at any given moment.
yeah. I didn't know what that was called. I knew they had like Amazon Gaming or whatever. I didn't realize that
Yeah,
there was an actual like Luna was a thing, you know?
yeah, yeah. It's surprisingly good. But yeah, man, it's weird to think about because even and I know I'm just such a fucking like nerd about it, but I get and when I go over to like my family's house, I'm like telling them all, but like oh like I can connect my phone to my PlayStation at home right now, and I can play PlayStation 5 games on my iPhone, and everyone's like, "Wow, cool, man, that's
Yeah, all
crazy."
right, you fucking virgin.
Uh, uh, I don't know, I get so excited about these things and like I just think it's really interesting to see where we're headed and um Yeah, because I plan on being a gamer into my the end of my life, which is my 60s, at the latest.
Damn, you're living a while, dude. I'm retiring at 35. I'm done.
Where are you going at 35?
The ground, brother.
Oh,
I'm
gotcha.
done. I'm
I don't know.
retiring from life. I'm
I thought you were
out.
retiring from your job.
No, I'm done. I'm retiring from that too. I'm retiring from living. I'm out. I got
Uh,
15 years
that sounds
because
like a
I'm
long
20.
time. Facts. Anything else to add to this discussion?
I don't got shit to add.
Okay. Well, that's gonna do it from us. Before we head out, just want to say thank you guys for coming.
Next week's gonna be a special episode.
Yes. Actually, I just got stuff in the mail, so
Okay.
I gotta go. I'll go try that on, and I'll give you guys here a little taste of what's cooking, um, for next week, after we go off, like after we end the show. So YouTube
Yeah.
audio listeners, sorry, come see us live. But seriously, appreciate the fuck out of you guys for coming hang out, Stevo, Sabrina, anyone else who's in the chat. Really appreciate you guys coming to support us. Uh, Still, for right now, the best way to support us is by following us, subbing if you want on Twitch, subscribing on YouTube, liking our YouTube videos, and leaving a review on whatever podcast service you're listening to. We would really, 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 really appreciate it. Um, yeah. Thank you. We love you.
Hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, all under John Squared Gaming Show. John Squared. Wait,
John Squared Pod. It's linked in the YouTube
that's it.
description. Yeah. Um, so yeah. Until next week, friends. Stay horny. Stay hydrated. Peace.